Americans are going to be used as guinea pigs for this new vaccine as it did not go through clinical trials. Wow. What else is new, huh? It's also being stated that kids are going to be able to get this new jab too. Fantastic.
We have some late-breaking news here. Novavax's updated COVID vaccine approved by the Food and Drug Administration. The shot still needs an updated recommendation from the Centers for Disease Control, but the company says that should be happening, quote, imminently. And once that recommendation comes, the vaccine will be available for patients at pharmacies, doctors' offices, and distribution centers. This news coming just weeks after Pfizer and Moderna's updated vaccines became available. Shares of Novavax up about 12.5% on the news. And Novavax has said it is ready to ship 6 million doses of this vaccine once it does get the CDC approval as well.
You know, that's what I want to know whenever one of these jabs are approved. Just how much money are people going to be making on the stock market? Are you freaking kidding me with this? Now let's get the obvious question out the way, all right? How would you feel about getting a shot that didn't even go through one clinical trial? Would you feel safe? Would you be at ease with such an idea? Now, I get it, all right? Everybody has a different opinion and perspective with jabs. I understand that, and I totally respect your right to do what you want to do with your body. But you gotta admit, there is something a little bit unnerving about putting a drug into your body that hasn't been properly tested, right? In fact, all these pharma companies are using the emergency use authorization like a hall pass to continue getting their products out to the market, all the while avoiding the troublesome, costly, and time-consuming clinical trials, because who needs to do that? We're in a state of emergency.
Americans rely on the FDA to evaluate whether medical products, such as drugs, diagnostic tests, and other medical devices, have been shown to be safe and effective. When a public health emergency hits, like the infectious disease outbreak we're facing with COVID-19, there may be an urgent need for products to diagnose, treat, or prevent a medical threat. In certain types of emergencies, the FDA can issue an emergency use authorization, or EUA, to provide more timely access to drugs, diagnostic tests, or other critical medical products that may help during the emergency when there are no adequate, approved, and available options. The EUA process is different than full approval of these products because in some emergency situations, we just cannot wait for all the evidence needed for full FDA approval. Instead, the FDA evaluates the options very quickly using the evidence that is available and carefully balances any known or potential risks of these unproven products with any known or potential benefits to the public of making them available during the emergency. For example, while we need to move quickly, it is not in the best interest of Americans for the FDA to allow use of a test that doesn't work as it should. False test results can contribute to the spread of an infectious disease like COVID-19. EUAs are just one of several tools the FDA can use to help make important medical products available quickly during emergencies.
But again, what's the freaking emergency? I thought we were done with the pandemic already. But let's go ahead and take a quick poll here. If you're comfortable in getting jabbed with a vaccine that only got approved due to an emergency, comment yes. And if not, comment no. And while you guys are doing that, make sure to leave a like for the video. It really helps bring out the truth to this platform. And if you don't want to miss any of my crucial updates, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on all notifications. Appreciate the love, you guys. So getting back to this jab, right? So it's said that it passed based on previous vaccines, but going by that logic, does it mean that these new ones are almost identical to the previous iterations? Nope.
A new weapon tonight in the fight against COVID. The FDA has approved Novavax's new shot.
But this one is different from the established injections from Pfizer and Moderna. Fox 5's Christopher King joins us live, and he spoke with an expert about how this new vaccine, Christopher, could help you stay out of the hospital.
Yeah, Christine and Russ, the new technology or the new vaccine relies on technology similar to a flu shot or a childhood vaccination. An expert we speak with says that should give families more options.
I got the latest COVID vaccine today.
Susan Gully wants to make sure she's protected against COVID-19.
This is like my fourth shot.
The FDA on Tuesday approved a new shot from Novavax for people ages 12 and up.
But I'm willing to try it if my doctor recommends it.
The new vaccine is protein-based. It's mixed with an immune-boosting chemical that's different from Pfizer or Moderna's mRNA shots already on the market.
This is not messenger RNA. It's a protein subunit
Dr. Jane Morgan is the executive director of health and community education at Piedmont Healthcare. She also heads Piedmont's COVID task force.
Instead of stimulating the body to make this spike protein, if you will, it is actually injected whole and ready to go as a protein subunit.
There you go. It's ready to go, folks. How are they fast tracking these drugs so easily, huh? And y'all should know that Novavax was late to the party when they received authorization for their jabs by July last year, with around 90,000 shots being administered. Now, do you feel as though it's a good basis where they can say, oh, sure, don't worry about clinical trials, thousands of people got it, and they're doing all right? Does that work for you? I mean, I don't want to sound pessimistic here, but this is not a joke here. This is not a fake tattoo that you can paste on your arm and kind of wash off with water. This thing really goes through your body. And what makes the situation a little bit worse is that, we're not really receiving much information as to what else is inside this new formula. It's like giving someone vanilla ice cream, and then once they're done eating, then you tell them that, hey, you crushed some almonds into it, and then maybe they're allergic to nuts. I mean, you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But remember when I asked how they're fast tracking these jabs? Look at this, guys. So it says here that the HHS, or the Department of Health and Human Services, determined a public health emergency. Again, where's the emergency, right? And furthermore, it changes it up to a significant potential for a public health emergency. How freaking vague can you get? Like, if that's the case, like, pass all the vaccines, pass all the drugs. I mean, pass them all, why don't you, right? You get a pass, and you get a pass, and you get a pass, and you get a jab, and you get a jab. Because if we're talking about potential, the term itself can be so broad that it can pass pretty much anything, It's like giving Big Pharma a straight shot to pass drugs and make tons of money without actually doing proper tests to, I don't know, make sure that the public is safe, like when they take these jabs. Now, again, I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand where I'm coming from. And just to show you exactly what I mean, here's a news release from the National Institutes of Health from June 2021, where it says that clinical trials results for the Novavax vaccine, and get this, guys, clinical results for this vaccine shows that it's safe and, here we go, and that it prevents C19. Now, let me ask you guys, has any one vaccine prevented C19? Because I vividly remember that none of them were able to prove this. And you're telling me that we're supposed to just trust how effective that these drugs were back then? Now, just so I can put the cherry on top for this entire thing here, here's a press release from Novavax itself that warns people, again, they're warning people of their own jabs. I can't make this stuff up, you guys. Look at this. If you or your child has any of these conditions listed on here, you're supposed to mention it to your vaccine provider. And this list includes allergies, much like my almonds example a while ago, myocarditis. Oh boy, I ain't touching that one, but y'all know the story on that one. If you had a fever, if you had a bleeding disorder, immunocompromised, if you're pregnant, or, and this one's amazing, planning to become pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, if you received a different jab, and if you've ever fainted in association with an injection. Now, I wish I was just kidding, and I was just like making up this whole list just to entertain you guys, but sadly, this is the truth. Now, lastly, they do give us a list of what might happen if we take the jabs. You experience difficulty breathing, having your face and even your throat swell up. That's not good. Fast heartbeat, rashes all over your body, and just plain weakness. So, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, I'm just laying everything out for you guys, and I even use their own press release, so do with that information what you will. Now, before I go, I just want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate the love, guys. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next one.